2,086 days since Richard was forcibly removed from his barracks room there on Fort Bliss in El Paso, Texas, and taken downstairs to the basement room, the arms room, a soundproof room, and his life was taken from him because he was a whistleblower. Not just any whistleblower, the Fort Bliss whistleblower soldier that unraveled this whole Jeffrey Epstein pipeline that was protected by the El Paso cartel in alliance with the other cartels, including the most deadly and flesh peddling, human flesh eating cartel, and that is the CJNG, that is directly connected to the Mormon faction colonies right over the border that are dual citizens. This is what makes them so dangerous, is the dual citizen being able to cross the border at will. And if it's an open border, if it's a wide open border, then it makes it much worse and easier for them to do their criminal trafficking and everything that entails. Because if you don't like what they're doing, they'll come after you, they'll target you in every which way. So we have a lot of breaking news today. Of course, one of the very first ones is Anthony, Texas, which is really anything with Anthony, Texas. It raises red flags for us because that was the last place after Richard was murdered. Um, his identity was used last there in Anthony, Texas. So, it really always sparks us interest when we see breaking news from Anthony, Texas. And we have it now that Tommy Cano, HR from Cano HR Group, is under investigation. He is under investigation. We have that confirmed because he was colluding, conspiring with Sylvia Brune de Firth. Can you believe it? Why would you even want to collude and conspire with her? She's so much trouble. She'll just drag you down. So he must be not too great, and up to no good to be conspiring with the likes of Sylvia Brune de Firth. And Sylvia Brune de Firth, she is an infiltrator. She's an infiltrator into our system to protect even the CJNG cartel dirty work, right? The El Paso cartel, she's protecting them. Of course, right there in our law enforcement, right there in the oversight, the Commission of Judicial Conduct inside Texas Bar, right? If you want to make a complaint about a shifty lawyer, she'll protect the ones that are doing the cartel's bidding. And this we can say this because of over almost 6 years of investigation with a lot of criminal complaints, to say the least, and getting to know who she is, Sylvia Brune de Firth, up to no good, the lowest of the low, the bottom of the barrel, the scum of the barrel. And of course, now we have Tommy Cano of Cano HR Group scheming and colluding with her and with Enriquez, right? With the Anthony police, Enriquez, to access official police reports so they can target and retaliate against whistleblowers. And this breaking news is really important to us because they were scheming and accessing official police records to target whistleblowers in our son's murder case. And so that is really breaking news. And, President Trump is on the move. He's on the move. So the other breaking news, and this is not a real happy breaking news, but it proves prove what we're saying is right. That President Trump is very serious about um, about the cartel, about Richard's case, about the border, about ending El Paso cartel's terror that they have put on El Paso and in Chihuahua, Mexico. And we know that President Trump is active, and in this case with the DEA. The DEA were sabotaged, they were ambushed along with one of Cesar Hargey's men. Cesar Hargey is the very dirty, very corrupt um, attorney general for Chihuahua. And the DEA was with one of his men, and they all three lost their life. And so I'm going to report a little bit more on that tomorrow. It's, the news is coming in so fast, but this has to do with the raid on the fentanyl um, lab, the fentanyl lab, huge, huge lab. They were making fentanyl in Chihuahua. And this has to do, of course, that's why the DEA are involved in this. And two of our DEA and agents, and I want to send all condolences um, and gratefulness uh, for the work that the uncompromised DEA is doing, because we know that there's been infiltration. We know that there are bad actors in our agencies. And when we see, um, the good ones trying to stop this fentanyl, and President Trump absolutely ended that huge fentanyl lab. Um, and and to see the cartel hit back, because you're talking about billions of dollars here, billions of dollars, and ambush uh, this assistant, I guess you would call him assistant attorney general for Chihuahua, with two DEA agents, and we have confirmed that they have lost their lives. They were ambushed by the cartel. So yeah, it takes a minute. It takes a minute because our hearts go out to the families. Absolutely. This is a very brutal war. What they did to Richard, a U.S. Army soldier, what they did to him was an act of war. And it was an act of war targeting President Trump. And I hope that everyone understands that was their aim, was to end President Trump. And I believe that the sabotaging and the ambush of these DEA agents was also because of trying to stop President Trump and his administration from, taking the power out of this Mormon faction, El Paso cartel protective racket that was protecting the Jeffrey Epstein trafficking pipeline for so many years. For so many years. That's why this is all connected. So the next the next breaking news that we have is an Iranian arms trafficker was working in a company with a former Pfizer executive, and whose aircraft is registered to Edgewood, New Mexico. Now, her name is Shamim. I hope I'm saying that right. Shamim Mafi, and I hope Mafi, yeah, Mafi. So Shamim Mafi, and it seems that they were operating out of a pharmaceutical medical company to sell arms, like drones, like the Iranian drone, exactly like the Iranian drone that was the reason for the shutdown, the airspace shutdown on February 10th and 11th. And also, really, I believe a huge reason for the entry into Operation Epic Fury. And also, why now we have 1,500 troops at the border, including a new weapon, and that new weapon is a laser. And the laser, this new weapon, laser, is to take down drones. To take down drones. It's an anti drone laser. And, so this all connects to what, to give you an idea of what President Trump is doing at the border. Because what they did to Richard was an act of war. And they were not going to stop just there. They have drones. They were getting drones from Iran. And we know that through Puerto Rico, through Turkey now, right? Turkey is right beside Iran, and leading into Europe, right there with Austria. Wars have been fought to stop Turkey from coming into Austria, right? And Europe has kind of caved on that now. And so we're doing all this heavy lifting. We're doing all this heavy lifting to save Western civilization, really. Um, and, are we willing to do that, right? Are we willing to save our own civilization? So we are, we are in our family, we are. And so this pipeline from Zorro Ranch to Fort Bliss, well, I would say Santa Fe, the Santa Fe Labs. Remember the Santa Fe Labs? That's a big part, with a huge connection to Chicago. That's why William Sanders, he has his ranch right above Zorro Ranch, which is Beto O'Rourke's family ranch. Um, and why Oprah Winfrey is involved, why the Obamas are involved, or why the Pritzkers are all connected to this Santa Fe, to the Zorro Ranch. And so, what's really fascinating about this Shamim Mafi is this company that was, had these high power players in it, had a plane, and the plane was registered in Edgewood, New Mexico. Okay, now Edgewood, New Mexico is right outside of Albuquerque, New Mexico. And when you're studying Richard's case, or what's going on in Iran right now, or what President Trump is focused on, you should always have a map beside you. You really need to have a map all the time, because it really puts in perspective, and it speaks thousands of words to be able to look at that map and learn very quickly what is going on in the world. And the map screams this pipeline, screams that Puerto Rico was a hub. Of course, that little St. James was a hub. That's just a teeny weeny little speck of an island. Puerto Rico's, oh, not much bigger, not much bigger. And yet, very important to go be the gateway into Europe through Turkey, of course, or, just from Puerto Rico, and also from Puerto Rico into Iran. Um, that is clear that is the evidence confirms it, that that's the gateway, and that's the pipeline. And so this, what does she have to do with Edgewood, New Mexico, right? Well, that is a lot of red flags for the Cesar Duarte ranches, right? The Cesar Duarte ranches in that area right by Albuquerque. Albuquerque right by the restricted airspace. So if you have a plane and there is an airport right there in Edgewood, and then if you're saying like we are that there's a common denominator of a Mormon faction, well, there is a Mormon ward right there in Edgewood, which you can blink and drive through and miss it, right? It's just a small little town, but yet it has everything that traffickers would want: isolation, restricted airspace, a landing strip that's paid for by taxpayers, and a Mormon hub, um, to get the Mormon faction, right? Because we know that the Mormon faction are all in on this. What's going on? So that is huge breaking news, really big breaking news, and there's more to it, but that is really, when you have Anthony, which is right below that, individuals being investigated, and the whole Kano name, because I'm just wondering if he's connected to Kano Still, because Kano Still was the name of the house for the Rosa Maria Arellano, Purchase Arellano Caron family's house, right? So Kano Still. So does he have anything to do with Kano Still? That's a good question. And then this lady that was trying to leave to get to Turkey. And then, of course, she'd be able to go where she wants from there. But um, yeah, she's up to no good. I hope that they hold her. She's been arrested. And um, right after a criminal complaint was filed against her. So complaints really help. They really, really help. And you might not get it right away. You might not see it right away, but you can never, ever, ever give up. You have to file the complaints. You have to file them. They make a huge difference. So, absolutely. Um, make sure I have everything else. Yes. So that is just a really um, very busy day. I hope everyone had a great Sunday. We were very busy because, we put in our intent to sue. And what's next? It's an epic lawsuit. It's an epic lawsuit. So that has been our absolute work that we've been doing, and we just want everyone to know that we appreciate all your support. I didn't even turn this on. I needed to turn this on so I could see. Absolutely all of your support, and that means all of the sharing. So thank you so much. I can't even, when you hear some of this information, it's like, really? It's so surreal, but I can't make it up. And what we're telling you is the truth. And so that's why your sharing makes such a big difference, because it forces them to look at something this absurd or look at something that is part of their making, right? So it is really, really important. And I can tell you this, that President Trump is in Mexico and he is locked and loaded. Um, and just pray for all of our agents and all of them that you can pray that the bad ones get a stumbling block, right? And that the good ones will also rise to the top and be very courageous. Thank you so much for everything that you do and all the sharing. And I will be back tomorrow, God willing.